Outrage after China zoo paints dogs to look like pandas. A zoo in China has come under fire after the authorities painted 2 dogs black and white to resemble pandas. Visitors were shocked to discover that the animals they saw in the panda enclosure were chow chow dogs, which are normally like an orange color, right?
I think so, yeah.
And I guess they bleach them. I don't know how they got them to be pure white, unless maybe there's like albino ones.
I doubt they were albino.
But anyway, they painted them or dyed them, and people are freaking out about it. I figure you just have to respect their culture because the Chinese are really into cosplay.
That's true. And trans pandas are pandas, so. I can't tell. Were people mad that they were trying to pass them off as pandas, or are they mad that they painted dogs and paint is bad for dogs?
It seemed like a lot of the comments were like, that kind of dye is bad for dogs.
Yeah.
They lick their fur and it's gross. It's bad for them. Humans may dye their hair. They don't lick their hair.
Yeah. I was just glad they're not eating them because when I see China dogs in a headline, that's where my first concern.
That's because you're a deeply racist man.
You know, I used to think that was a racist thing to say. And then there was these stories recently about how South Korea is elsewhere in Asia, but they banned the eating of dogs.
Oh, no, they absolutely eat all kinds
of... So they did eat dogs.
True, yeah. Oh. Women at the scene unanimously felt relief that the chow chows had been painted to resemble a kind of bear and not a strange man. Thank God. You imagine the horror. The spokesperson at the zoo said there are no panda bears at the zoo and we wanted to do this as a result. He's just really defensive. He's like, we had to do something.
We couldn't just not have pandas.
Right.
And they're in China. Isn't that where pandas are from? You feel like they could go outside and get some.
Right. In Australia, and they had to paint up some
fake
ferrets to look like kangaroos or something.
Yeah.
Can you just go outside and bonk one on the head?
I feel like this happens frequently. I've seen other stories where Chinese zoos have tried to fake animals.
Right. Or not fake. They're real animals, but to pass them off as more expensive, rare, exotic animals. A zoo in the Henan province came under fire for attempting to pass off a Tibetan Mastiff dog as an African lion. The lion started barking, and then everyone was like, that's not a lion.
They didn't know beforehand. I feel like I could tell.
I saw that. If you look at the photo, that's clearly a dog.
Yeah.
Although maybe it's because you're up in a big coliseum and you see it way down there doing stunts or something. I don't know.
It's in a coliseum?
I don't know. You know, like the big dog, where the stunt like Waterworld.
They're painting a dog as a lion and then having it fight Christians in the Colosseum.
In Sichuan, a zoo reportedly dyed dogs to resemble wolves and made them look like kind of not as doggish dogs. I don't know how people could tell. Like, those aren't wolves. Wolves don't act like that. It's just normal dogs.
Wolves don't roll over and fetch when you tell them to.
Yeah. I feel like if you trained them to, they would.
Yeah.
2015, Jiufeng Zoo replaced a sun bear with a man in a bear suit.
Oh, I remember this story.
Yeah. Though I was looking at photos
I feel like there's one more recent than this. This one says 2015.
That's a long time ago.
I feel like there was one that was relatively within the last 2 years or so.
Okay. Well,
they said it was standing and waving to people.
Yeah, I got the picture. The picture's the one standing and waving.
Then you see it like just standing with its hand on its hip, smoking a cigarette off to the side,
stretching its quads.
Yeah.
During the COVID-19 pandemic, a zoo in Yunnan province displayed inflatable penguins in an empty penguin enclosure. I'm guessing that they discovered this when one popped in a polar bear's mouth. Not just China is guilty of this, so not only China. In 2018, a zoo in Cairo, Egypt painted black stripes on donkeys to make them look like zebras. Everybody started to notice, and the paint started smudging. Classic. And in Argentina, this is my favorite, because I feel sorry for the people that fell for this. Unscrupulous pet sellers have been known to pump up ferrets and even rats with steroids, then groom them to look like miniature poodles. Buyers were shocked when the animals started behaving unlike typical dogs. So are these like...
That sounds... Now I want to see that.
Yeah, there's a picture that I posted. It just looks like a really fluffy ferret.
I would almost rather have a steroid raging ferret.
Yeah, like a roided out
poodle.
Ferret with a poodle hair. I'm curious to see. It's a unique pet.